Hey everybody, welcome back. This is George Crabb, co-founder, CEO of PatientPartner, and your host of the PatientPod. This is episode 2, called Nailing the Perfect Pitch. Now, a quick little recap. Episode 1, what we covered is what is PatientPartner, how it works, why is it important to you, why should you be excited about PatientPartner, and why your customers should be excited about it. In this episode, what we'll be covering is when you do get that face time with a customer, how can you accurately explain what PatientPartner is to the point where they're bought in and they go, yes, I'd love to offer PatientPartner to my patients. And so where we start off with is first, I kind of want to lay the foundation, the groundwork, because you want to have a couple early wins under your belt. And so I remember when I was a rep, I had a handful of doctors that I always consider them as friends. And you can go up to them and just say, hey, we're rolling something out new. You should do this. This is going to be really great for you. Get those first wins under your belt because it'll give you confidence, and it also helps you when you pitch this to potentially new doctors and new customers. And so what I've outlined is kind of like breaking down what this sales process could look like, and I outlined it in roughly around like 5 or 6 different steps. And the first step, and I'll walk you through all of them right now, then I'll go through an example of how you can do this in real life. But the first step is, I really believe the old school sales tactic of having like an aggressive sales approach is really outdated. I don't think it works anymore, and I would advise you not to do it. So the first step is 1, kill the salesman perspective, and 2, you need to validate you as an individual. The second step is asking discovery questions. It's important for you to kind of have this learner's mentality, right? You don't always want to be owning the conversation, talking the entire time. You want to have them talking just as much as you are talking. The third is making the problem almost undeniable, almost like it's rhetorical, like, duh, yeah, of course that's a problem. And we can address that. And then the fourth step is introing the solution. So once you have commitment from both sides saying, yeah, there's a problem here, that's when you introduce the solution. The fifth step is you want to add a story behind the solution. It's one thing just to say, hey, here's the product, here's the solution, it's going to be great for you, versus why is it important you give an exact example? And so you use a personal story to do that. And then the last piece of it is you want to add some scarcity to it. You don't want to act like everybody has access to this. You want to say, hey, I came to you personally because I think this is going to help you as an individual and as a physician. Now, let's go through like quickly, what does this look like in real life? The first is killing the salesman perspective. Like I said earlier, like the old school sales tactic of aggressive approach, I think is outdated. And truthfully, I think a lot of people shoot themselves in the foot. Most people get immediately walled off when you come in with kind of like the old boiler room type of approach, slick back hair suit and say, hey, I want to sell you something today. People want to buy from people that they trust, and you have to earn that trust, and you can do that very quickly. And the easiest way to do that is through tonality. And I'll give you an example of that, but you really want to have this soft approach, almost as if you're a student and inquisitive, having curiosity and just understanding like, hey, is this really going to be a solution for you? Is this going to solve your problems? Because that is how you're going to get them to buy in and get them to kind of have a collaborative approach saying, yeah, you're right. This is a problem. This is a solution. And you have a method in which you both are coming to that solution together. So let me kind of walk you through what like the first step could look like. And so let's say I'm calling on Dr. Smith, for example. So I meet with Dr. Smith and I come up to him and say, hey, Dr. Smith, it's great to meet you. My name is George. I'm with XYZ company. Thanks so much for taking time. I know you're busy. I was kind of waiting in your clinic and I saw how packed it was. And, truthfully, I'm excited to chat with you because I was speaking with Dr. Bob last week. And I was telling him that we had a scheduled meeting today. And, he had nothing but great things to say about you. And it was funny, when I was waiting in your waiting room for our appointment, I started talking with some of the people in the lobby. And as I was talking with them, one of the people in there stood out, and I'm assuming they're a patient of yours because they were talking about how much they loved you and how they really you took this very personalized approach to their condition. And I'm curious to know, when you meet with somebody, what is meet with a new patient, what is like the first thing you try to accomplish? What are you trying to pull from that first consultation? Okay. So first off, let's pause here. So first is, 1, I took a different approach, right? Very soft, very, very approachable. Second is I validated me as an individual. I said, Dr. Bob, you go and say, hey, Dr. Bob is a friend, validates me as somebody that has business that is working out in the field. And you as an individual now have just gained some respect. Now, as you notice at the end, I kind of asked the first discovery question, which is the second phase. You want to start learning, right? So you say, hey, what does that first consultation look like? What are you trying to learn from these patients? It'll go on. Well, oh yeah, with the first consultation, I try to have a very human approach. I try to learn about their condition, learn about them and their family, blah, blah, blah. And you go, wow, yeah. Doc, like it's funny. I feel like a lot of physicians have this like cookie cutter approach when they meet with a patient, almost like it's formulaic. And I've always kind of wondered, like, how exactly do doctors like prescribe some sort of treatment regimen when they really don't connect with their patients? They don't know who they are, right? Not only the treatment regimen, but also like, how do you get them to adhere to it if you don't understand what their concerns are, what they're trying to, what are their desires? What are they trying to get back into their life? Is that something that you cover when you talk with your patients? Again, so now we're still in that discovery phase. We're opening it up. He's going to talk about how much he really cares about his patients, how all the questions he asks, they'll go on and on about how, oh yeah, I take this like really a unique approach, try to learn about these individuals. And you go, yeah. It's funny, Doc. Like, it's funny you say that because I kind of see that when I was in your lobby, when I was talking with that patient, how they really kind of adored you and they said all these great things about you, how you treat them as if they're not just a patient, but as a person. And that kind of leads me right into what I really wanted to meet with you today about, which is, one of the things that we're seeing on our end is how important it is to really provide resources to our customers outside of the products we sell. And one of the things that we just did is we rolled out this new partnership with PatientPartner. And the whole concept behind it is how can we help new or current patients understand what this treatment journey looks like? And we thought, like, who better to do that than somebody who's currently gone through it? And so that's what PatientPartner does. It provides this connectivity that allows your patients to speak to an experienced patient so they can have those real life, raw, one-to-one engagements, which ultimately lead to them learning more about their disease and seeing if this treatment's right for them. Doc, I'm kind of curious. Have you done anything like this before? Okay, so let's pause. What did I do? I introduced the solution, but then I followed it up with a discovery question. I go, hey, have you done this before? Right. And you'd be shocked. I feel like a lot of the physicians out there go, oh yeah, no, I've done this before a handful of times and it's always worked out great. Right. And use that as your next way to kind of like get validation as to why this solution is right for them. And so from there, I always want to, I always try to recommend introducing some sort of personal story. You go, yeah, the reason why our company decided to roll this out is because we saw a lot of patients asking for this. They're going to Instagram or Facebook or Reddit channels trying to find other people that also struggle from this disease or this condition and are taking this product. We thought, instead of having them go to all of these different places, why don't we give them a trusted resource to do that? And again, so you add that personal story and you can even go even further and go, Dr. Bob had a patient like this and he offered a mentor to him, and you can talk about the results. Say, hey, how great this patient was, really like, they felt so happy that they had somebody to connect with. But you always want to hit back to why this is important and the results you see from it. And you could say, some of the results we're seeing with Dr. Bob is, one, not only is patients really happy that they have this offering, but two, it's the sentiment that comes back to Dr. Bob, right? Dr. Bob's patients are going, man, Dr. Bob offered me this. It was so great. And it comes back and it adds to your reputation as a physician. And so that is the whole story piece of it. You want to make sure you add that anchor into there. And then the last piece of it is you add scarcity. You don't want this to be like a free for all. Everybody gets it. You go, Dr. Smith, we're rolling this out in a couple select metropolitan areas, one of them being here. And you're one of the doctors that came to mind, just because I know you're always looking for different ways to, differentiate yourself from all the other physicians out there. And we thought, what a great way to provide this extra resource that can not only help you, but help your patients. Like, Doc, is something like this be something you're interested in? Or is this something that you'd want to learn more about? And again, pause, right? So you add that scarcity component, say not everybody gets it, that you came to them as an it like individually came to that physician. And I'll go, oh, okay, well, this sounds interesting. You go, look, like, what I could do from here is we actually have some hard marketing material, some collateral that I'd love to bring by, and maybe, next week. And the goal of this is like, I want to help educate you on how you can present this, right? I want to educate you on how you can actually put this in front of a patient. And maybe we could schedule that for next week. That sound like something we could do together? Pause. Allow him to speak back, right? And you'll see at this point, a lot of these physicians and a lot of these customers will really open up and go, huh, yeah, this sounds interesting. I'd love to learn more. Yeah, talk to my front desk and see if we can get another meeting on the books for next week. And so now you have a secondary meeting lined up. You can bring in the hard collateral and then you can present it to him and walk him through how exactly he can pitch this to his customers and to his patients. Anyway, so that's the quick run through. So going back again to the 5 or 6 steps. One is kill the salesperson, right? Validate you as an individual. Second is ask discovery questions. You want to do this throughout the conversation. The third step is making that problem undeniable, making sure that you both agree, yeah, this is a problem. Fourth is that's when you introduce the solution, right? Present it in a way that kind of addresses the problem that you both understand that is a problem. Fifth is add that personal story. Use that story, whether it's from a different physician, whether it's from a patient that has, from a different part of the country, but make sure you add some sort of personal hook to it. And the sixth is making sure you add scarcity. You don't want to make sure everybody that gets this, you want to say, I came to you as an individual, you personally, doctor, because I think this will be good for you. So that's a quick run through. I'll be coming up on episode 3 here, in which we'll be talking about the actual material itself, how to use it, how to track it, how to be thoughtful with it. But that's next episode. Till then, see you next time.